Hello and welcome back to yet another episode by Wise Prediction. In this case, we are going to be looking at the prediction accuracy of our predictions on European Champions League games in this season so far. Let's start. So, we've had predictions for 119 games so far from European Champions League, and we are only focusing on the singles predictions in this case. What do I mean by that? We are only looking at such predictions where the prediction itself is either home wins, draw, or away wins. We are, in this particular episode, excluding double chance predictions and over and under total goals predictions as well. We are going to be looking at these stats in later episodes. So we've had predictions for 119 games so far in the season. Obviously, Champions League is going on. And 55 out of them have been successful, and 64 predictions have failed for singles predictions in particular, where the prediction itself was either home wins, draw, or away wins, which gives us an accuracy of 46.2%. What does that mean? You can ask. So average odd for these predictions have been so far 3.18, and which is quite a high odd actually, because those games are quite tough to predict, and the strength of the teams are quite close to each other in most cases, and it is not easy even for algorithms to predict those games successfully all the time. So if we do a short and simple exercise, let's say that we invest or risk or bet $1 in each and every game for each and every prediction actually, for 119 predictions. So basically, if the prediction fails, we lost our $1. But if it holds, then the profit becomes the odd minus 1. For example, if the odd of the game was, let's say, 2, so we invest $1, so $1 comes from there. And since the odd itself is 2 in this particular example, the profit is going to be $1 in that case. So the net result has become plus 9.41, meaning, okay, we are investing $1 on each and every game during a long time period actually, for sure. The Champions League actually, together with the initial games, before the actual group game started, it actually started back in August. So even those games are included in these predictions. So we invest or risk $119, and since 64 of them failed, so we lost $64 right away, and 55 out of them were successful. What happens here is that in total, or as a net result, $119 risk returned $9.41 as profit. So at the end of the day, we have 119 plus $9.41 in our pocket if we had gone for all these predictions basically, which gives us 7.9% profit at the end of the day. Obviously, these are only past results, and it doesn't really mean anything about future actually. Future results may be totally different. These are just stats based on how predictions have performed so far in the season in particular. But here, when we look at these numbers, we don't really see, how many predictions have been home wins or away wins or draw as an example. So let's have a look at those numbers now. So this table is giving the distribution of predictions over different bets, basically. For home wins predictions, we had 48 such predictions. 27 out of them were successful, but the net return was actually negative. So if we had gone for home wins predictions all the time for Champions League games, so we would have lost money actually. And the average odd for such predictions were 2.11. So the return would be negative if we had gone for home wins predictions. It may be the case that algorithms are actually expecting that the home team is going to win the game, but these games are quite difficult, and the away team is maybe locking the game in a way, so that the home team is not able to win the game as predicted by the algorithms. It seems to be happening fairly often. And since even the betting companies basically seem to be expecting that the home team is going to win the game, so which keeps the odd of such bets basically lower than that of other types of bets, as you can see here. So if we had gone for away wins predictions, and we had 45 such predictions this season so far, 18 out of them were successful. As you can see, this success number is visibly lower than the number that we have for home wins predictions. But on the other hand, the net return has been positive because the average odd for such predictions has been much higher. So 3.86 in this case, while the average odd for home wins predictions has been 2.11. Let's have a look at the draw predictions. So the success rate happens to be much lower for such cases because if the prediction itself is a draw, it sort of means that our algorithms at least, are not really able to decide if it's going to be home team or away team that's going to win the game, because the strength of these teams happen to be very close to each other. So this is a very risky type of bet actually, but at the same time the odds tends to be much higher as well. So we had 26 such predictions this season so far. Only 10 of them have been successful, but the net return happened to be 10.50, and the average odd has been 3.95. So if you would risk, for example, $26 for each and every prediction here, we will get back 26 plus 10.5. That would be the total return of investment basically. And in the last row here we see the overall results again, 119 games, where 55 of them has been successful, and the net return will be 9.41 based on the illustration that I tried to explain. And the average odd for those predictions have been 3.18, and this number comes up with the help of away wins and draw predictions, but the home wins predictions have had visibly lower odds so far. So that is how prediction results look like for Champions League predictions in particular, especially for singles. And we are going to be looking at other types of betting predictions for Champions League in coming episodes as well. So our predictions are only available at our website, wiseprediction.com, and also in our mobile apps, which are available both in Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And the links to our apps are available both in the description below and also at our website, wiseprediction.com. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.